So we're up to session 9 of the Eberron game. Who would like to give a recap, if anyone remembers?
Elson came back through the mirror and recounted recounted what he saw. Basically, that there were about the undead on the other side, and the uh, sow pig, and the ritual going on in the kind of the dark version of the circus, which is taking place in the kind of this dark corner of Thelanis, which is normally happy and cheerful in the land of the Fae. He came out,
Yeah, I
caught.
wouldn't. It wouldn't necessarily. So some corners of Thelanis are happy and cheerful, but it's usually just brighter. This is really a very dark portion of Thelanis at this point.
Okay, I mean that's fair. Uh,
And the shadows that you saw there weren't necessarily undead. They were just sort of shadowy reflections of the people that are here. Sal Pig is undead.
right, but there were other. There were Sow Pig was undead, but weren't there like other creatures there, not just
There
the
were, yes, there were some.
yeah. Um, we came back. We came back, met the rest, caught up with the rest of the group. There, I can't remember the name of some of the people that came back with me, but or with
It's
Elson.
Willikin and Cat's Eye and 3 unnamed children.
Yeah, so we ended up hanging out with Willikin, and we accompanied him, and we ended up meeting. We went to a tent that we could then talk out of sight or out of earshot of everybody else to plan next steps.
Pebble got a tattoo in the tent.
And a job.
Was that tattoo that made Pebble very sparkly?
Pebble was already sparkly. The tattoo added to the sparkliness a bit and had a magical effect.
We talked about what to do. We decided to go tell Cadfay and Cadfell what was going on with on the other side of Thelanis or in Thelanis. So we went to the big top tent because that's where we were told we could find them. Uh, we were talking with Burley, which was like the guard near, like, stationed outside of where the staff area is, and he mentioned that we could we could get to Cadfay only at very specific times. He would occasionally come out to go check on the inside the big top, and we could wait for him there, like to try to intercept him. So we did. Uh, at least Elzen hung out, waiting kind of in the crevices between the big top and the hedge, which was not very wide. And the meanwhile, Peleus went to go find
Kettlestein.
Kelstein to see if they could recruit them to help in our upcoming confrontation with the uh, with the hags and Thelanis. It wasn't clear whether or not he got him on our side or whether he was convinced, um, but kind of left an open invitation there. We ended up intercepting Cadfe and talking about, informing him about what was going on with Alanis. We learned that while all the mirror, like a lot of the mirrors in the House of Illusion are portals to Thelanis. Many of them can break, but there's one that can never break. It's like, so this one giant mirror. And if when we were in there, there was like this kind of uh, there was kind of like a there was parts that were very tall and like the mirrors got taller. And I
Right.
think the main portal or the main mirror that could not be broken was like in the center. And that was like the biggest one. So we were told the command phrase to get inside. And I think we decided to go to go and try to stop the ritual that was going on in the other big top.
Right. There is a question of how you get out of this circus. And Mbop is missing. In fact, it's because they captured Mbop, they took her sigil, her magical sigil, the Bop Stone, and that has apparently become their key to taking over the circus
You
from
mean
Shebop.
Shebop? Okay.
No, Mbop had the Bop Stone.
Oh, okay.
That was her like one starting magic item. So then
Well,
you rested. You went to the feasting area and had a long rest.
Pebble was very concerned about the time, especially given that Mbop was still missing and afraid that they wouldn't be able to be in time.
Right. But in the end, you were convinced to go with the party and
Hmm.
rest. So it might be
Yep.
another reason why the party's willing to go to Thelanis is that nobody knows where Mbop is.
Yeah. I mean,
Right. Out of character, we know Mbop's not coming back in the
but
near term.
yeah, I mean, Elzen would certainly want to go through every length he could to before calling it quits. And I mean, if she's suffering in the other plane, then well, we have to help her. No one else will.
Apparently, no arguments.
That's also not the accent for this character. We have to go. Yes, it will be a great idea.
Well, yeah, I thought that was always agreed upon. What? Wait, what was it not? Were we? I, I'm so confused.
I am sorry. I just had this dream where I think we were arguing about whether or not we would go, and then I woke up and uh
Dreams are funny. I dreamt I could breathe underwater.
So everybody can roll me a perception check. We'll send Lee a message.
before we go, I think just generally Elzen's gonna want because there were these really delicious cakes, right?
Yes.
Elzen's gonna want to get a couple of those. He's gonna need every little bit of happiness he can before he crosses the threshold.
Right. You were also, by the way, drinking. You were eating and drinking the night before and drinking the sparkly berry juice, which did also cause Pebble to sparkle a bit more brightly. But Lee did not partake of the berry juice.
Is Pebble still
Yes.
sparkling like that? Just that extra bit.
Yep.
Well, Pebble still has that advantage that he could
Right.
claim at any moment, but chooses to sparkle instead.
You are like a bright shining star in
A
this day.
star?
Yes, you sparkle, you glow, you're magnificent.
Ah, shucks.
So you all find yourself the weather, it's still nighttime as far as the circus is concerned, but the storm seems to have cleared up a bit. And you find yourself all in good spirits. So you get yourself some additional food.
Okay, so where are we going?
We will need to go to the House of Illusions again.
Yeah, to go and get. Ah,
Yes. Is there
and
any
to stop those hags.
stop the hags? Yes. And to find Sheba. Hopefully she is okay. I do worry about her.
Who,
I
who, who's Sheba?
I mean Mbop and Sheba.
Who's Sheba? Oh, Sheba. Oh, I forgot that was no one. Oh yeah, they're like related, aren't they?
One would presume, based off of the surname, but it is, as far as I understand, still an open question. But in any event, hopefully find traces of either of them before we get ourselves killed, of course. Lee, I see you stewing in anger. Are you saving it?
No. And no.
It does not bode well.
Both of you seem a lot more chipper than you usually are.
I do. I'm sorry. Is that a bad thing?
By itself, no, but considering where we are, makes me even more skeptical.
Huh.
Pebble and Elza, you can make me another perception check. You realize you do feel a little bit more upbeat than you're used to being first thing after you wake up. And you realize that for the first time in a very long time, you've woken up without having had bad dreams.
Ah. Oh, I feel so good. Even better than with the berry juice in my belly.
Hmm. Come to think of it, I slept very soundly last night.
I know what it was. I just tried the elephant. That was it. So much joy.
I did not ride the elephant, yet I feel I slept like a baby.
Well, you should like the elephant. It's so much fun. It picked you up with your trunk.
Perhaps when we get back, Lee, did you have did you have terrible dreams again, as we normally have?
No.
No, like I said, I was dreaming that I could breathe underwater, which was actually pretty cool. And I was tasting so many fish. I ate so good, so yummy.
I just hope that Pebble doesn't like actually try to breathe underwater next time.
Time will tell.
So you begin to make your way over to the Hall of Illusions. As you go, a half elf walks right up to you and cocks his head and says, I'm here to help. And then you watch as his skin begins to grow dark and you see this fuzz begin to grow on him that grows into feathers as he begins to shake. And he transforms into Kettle Steam's normal form.
What did you just do?
And he looks at you and cocks his head again and says, I have certain abilities, some of them unnatural.
Well, that's pretty cool. And you're gonna come to help? That's awesome. I'm Pebble. And what's your name?
I'm Kettle Steam.
Kettle Steam. Ket Kenny. Kenny. Yeah, that's what I'll call you, Kenny.
I'm Kettle Steam.
Yeah, Kenny.
I do believe you're Kelly now.
Kenny.
Well, it is good. It is good to have you by our side. It is a journey best taken with as many friends as possible.
Paelius nods in agreement, and I assume happy that his efforts paid off.
You know what? If we're about to go into this place with all the mirrors and we're gonna have these dangerous things all around, we should do a group hug first.
Paelius takes the hide action.
Wait, Davy, where'd you go? Patty, Patty. Ah, well, he's just gonna have to miss out. How about the rest of you? Group hug?
Alzin rolls his eyes and like holds his arms out.
Ah!
And he grabs Kettle Steam.
Kettle Steam also joins into the group hug. Kettle Steam reaches out for Lee.
Yes, I will join.
Oh, we're all such good friends. That's what's gonna keep us safe.
It is quite dark in there. Any little bit helps. I haven't determined whether it's better or worse than the bite. At least this doesn't kill you if you spend too long in it. At least that we're aware of.
So as you make your way back to the Hall of Illusions, you see the clown who was standing outside the Hall of Illusions doesn't seem to be there now. Instead, you see there's a human, not quite a boy, a young man, maybe 17 years old. He's wearing very sort of thick, very large glasses over his face, but otherwise he seems to be fairly muscular and tall. His arms are crossed and he looks extremely bored. And he notices you approaching the tent and holds his hand up and says, This attraction is closed.
Ah, yes, we are aware. Uh, we have special permission from Cadfay to enter.
I haven't heard of that. Why? There's utterly no reason for you to go in there. It's dangerous and there's nothing to see that's worth it.
Yeah, we know it's dangerous. That's where we're going. We
Who
gotta
are
stop the
you?
hags, and we gotta save Mbop and Shebop and everyone else.
You're going to save Shebop.
Yep,
What what makes you think she's in the Hall of Illusions?
because you gotta be.
I mean, she is my kinsman. I've not heard she's in there.
Well, do you know what is inside the Hall of Illusions?
Uh, dark forces, the thieves who've been plundering our circus seem to come in and out of there.
Yes, do you know why they come in and out?
We assume they serve the hags, and this is the way the hags come in and out.
Yes. And who has an interest in Shebop's disappearance?
I what would my cousin's disappearance have to do with anything?
You have these hags who have this open gateway into the circus that continually cause trouble and send their minions out to cause trouble, and you still wonder why, and you cannot find this, you cannot find Shebop.
Listen, I don't care enough to try to stop you. So if you want to go in, just don't come telling people that I got you killed or any of your people killed when you try to navigate this maze.
If I got myself killed, I would not be able to tell anybody that it was because of you.
Right. But your friends might complain, and I don't want to hear the good name of Wapabaloo being sullied.
I would never deign to sully Wapabaloo.
Plus, we're not gonna die. We did a group
Uh,
hug. We're not gonna die.
if you say so, I will be out here. I won't be able to come in and help you. And you see he scowls at Kettle Steam and grabs his arm and says, "Not you." And he shouts, and you see a bunch of circus hands start to run over.
Wait. How,
Kettlestein begins to squawk and struggle, trying to break free, but the kid is burly and strong, and Kettlestein is not particularly muscular.
But wait. He was going to help us.
Kettlestein is not one to help. Kettlestein is one to cause chaos. If Kettlestein is going in there with you, that gives me even less reason to trust you.
Well, a little chaos might be what we need.
You know what? If Kettlestein wants to die in there, the Kettlestein starts to look a little worried at that. Uh, I I don't care. And he lets Kettlestein go, and then turns to all of you and says, "But when Kettlestein comes out, he's going to be dealt with. She's going to be dealt with."
Very
okay.
And Walt Babalu tells the circus hands to just to stay with him outside, expecting you all to come charging out once you get attacked. But you enter the Hall of Illusions and begin to navigate your way through the maze, finding there's still this strange effect of as you stare into the mirrors, you see versions of yourself at different ages, starting out uh, exceptionally young. As you navigate your way towards the center of the maze, the images of you begin to get older and older until eventually, when you reach the center of the maze, there is a large golden mirror standing in the center in an open area. Uh, that one you don't see. You see your normal reflections of yourself, but all around you in the other mirrors, you see very ancient and wizened versions of yourself, which you can all describe if you want to.
I mean, I'm imagining like an old Elzen would be very much like kind of a spindly, spidery, kind of uh, spindly and spidery kind of like features. Barely like eyelids are at like a constant squint. Um, very kind of gray, long, flowing hair, has well past the length and age of maintenance.
I imagine that with like tufts of hair coming out of your ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
What what about Lee? Lee looks like he's pushing maybe 15 or 16, like really, really old.
No, Lee's feathers and yeah, Lee's feathers look perfect gray and white, almost fake. And then you realize he has little strings attached to his hands and legs, and he's actually a taxidermied bird that's like a puppet.
And Pebble just looks like uh a featherless mummified penguin.
Yeah, I was sort of picturing him similarly, or at least I was picturing him just like bald on top. So, but you're certain you found the right mirror. Although at the moment it is just reflecting your normal images back at you.
Okay. So now what?
Are you ready? Kind of takes like looks at that Pebble and looks over at Lee, looks over.
Paelius would nod and say that he's ready, and then he steps forward, stepping onto a rake that has been, for some reason, strewn in here, which flies up and bangs him in the head, and he's unconscious on the ground.
Okay. We loot the
Oh,
body
yeah,
first.
me.
I mean, you find his normal equipment and his searcher box.
How many kidneys does he have? Uh, I guess if we're going to go in, what is the plan exactly, Ilse?
Tony didn't say anything about losing kidneys, just that we shouldn't kill him.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Still above board. Well, what we know is we know that there on the other side there are undead that are roaming the circus grounds. We know that there are some aspects of this side, the people that are visible. We know that the ritual is taking place in the big top, and that's where the hags presumably are. And our main goal, or one of our goals, is to one, rescue Umbop and Shebop if she is there, and to find a way to, as much as possible, stop the ritual. So I think we at least could use the distraction. Kettlesteam, I believe you would supply an ample distraction, even for these people, for these for the hags and the forces on the other side. we must figure out once we have a distraction, if we can figure out, use that time to figure out what the mechanism of the ritual is and try to sabotage it. I think that would be our best bet. Now, it does not stop them from performing it again. It would merely delay their ability to do it sooner than later. But if we can steal back the Bop Stone, if we can steal something that would prevent them from actually following through with it, then at least that would at least be a good place to start.
Right. From what Elzen heard when he was a prisoner, uh, they need this is their opportunity because they got the Bobstone. So if they no longer had the Bobstone, they wouldn't be able to conduct this ritual at all.
Hmm.
But
So
Kettlesteam conveys that Kettlesteam's very good at creating chaos, among the people here. He, but he can create illusions. One illusions that are wondrous of insight and sound, according to him. So that's probably his best bet. He can also do things like he can frighten animals. So, but they're probably not going to be natural animals there.
right. So I guess let's get to the big top and see if we can find the Bobstone or the mechanism of the ritual, and then we can try to hatch a plan uh, to take it once we know what we're up against.
You notice that Kettlesteam has cast a little spell, and there are little tiny birds now flying around Paelius' head.
Normally, Pebble would have been all over that, but you notice that he's just preening and checking out his his mummified version of himself.
Well, there is no time like the present. Hither, thither, here and yon, take us to the world beyond.
And you see the golden frame around the mirror begins to glow brighter and brighter as the mirror itself begins to cloud, and then the clouds seem to part, and through it you can see a darkened version of the Hall of Illusions.
As Alson would walk through.
So as you begin to walk through, you find that the instant you touch the mirror, it's not so much as you step through it like it's a doorway, but the instant your body comes in contact with the mirror, you feel the mirror, but you immediately vanish from sight, and all of you see that he is now on the other side of the mirror, having taken the place of his reflection.
Ah, let's go!
And Pebble leaps through the mirror.
You also disappear instantaneously and appear on the other side, facing the mirror again. You could see Lee, Kettlesteam, and the unconscious Paelius. You can also see their reflections on this side, mirroring everything they do. But Kettlesteam comes forward and reaches out one of his hands and touches the mirror and immediately appears on the other side. He vanishes in the regular world and takes the place of his reflection. Is Lee going through? It'd be funny if Lee
Hmm.
was like, all right, Good luck.
Best of luck to you. Yes, I will go through. I step through.
So you step through as well.
He has
One of
to
the
the group hug.
That's right. That is a sacred bond that cannot be
Hmm.
broken.
It's like it's equivalent of a blood oath.
Now that you're all on the other side, you realize that Elzin, so Pebble always has dark vision. Elzin, you can see unusually well in the darkness. And everybody around you could see, and even Lee. Did Lee, I assume Lee has his torch,
Yeah, yeah, I've got my ever-burning torch.
right? Elzin and uh, Pebble skin is shining brightly. Not quite emitting light, but it's a noticeable effect when you look at them. And I will tell you now, I don't know if Mike can hear.
I can.
Uh, okay. The You are essentially under the effect of a protection from evil spell because you drank the berry juice. Lee refused to drink the berry juice. So Kettle Steam was not around to drink the berry juice. So those two don't get it.
Oh, this is very spooky.
Yes. Hence the desire for a little joy before stepping to the darkness.
So you make your way out of the Hall of Illusions and up to the dark countertop, the dark counterpart to the countertop, the big top at least. Move everybody. You can see all around you there are many of those shadowy forms. They don't seem to be paying any attention to you whatsoever. It is almost as if they are milling about on their own business. Many of them around the dark big top, though, just seem to be stationary, like they're waiting for something, standing sentinel, but not reacting to your presence.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? This one episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, where they had the shadow people that you could only see with those sunglasses.
Never seen the show.
Really?
It's been a
Nope.
very long time since I've seen it, but I had fond memories of it.
That's one that always stuck with me because it was like, I don't know, it just scared me.
Inside the big top, through the opening, the entrance in front of you, you can see there is flashing green lights that seem to be emanating all around. It's almost like there are flashes of lightning inside, but also a permanent green glow. Meanwhile, you also hear the otherwise sort of cheerful circus music in the background. Incongruous in this context, but it's there.
Does there appear to only be one like entrance to the big top?
So you know that there's the entrance in the back, and but otherwise, yes, it appears as though there's one entrance. Because I mean, it's an attraction, so there's a path that leads up to this one big entrance.
Do you think it is worth going around back? Avoid attracting to avoid attracting immediate attention since we are clearly different. I mean,
Um,
we will attract attention if we get caught in the back, of course, but hopefully it would be not as quickly as if we just walked to the front door.
I mean, it's a pretty wide open space. I don't know how we would hide or be sneaky. I think we should just move quick, get there,
Okay.
trust in the hug.
Very well. So then I guess we're walking through, try to push our way through the shadow people. Uh, put
Yeah,
my elbow in someone's knees.
right. They're not that, particularly around here. They're not like that thick that you have to make your way through them. You see one that is about like 40 feet away from you, and you see several to the south of you as well. As you approach the tent, you can see that there's one inside that seems to be just standing there, not really paying attention to you. Though, I mean, assuming it's conscious at all, it should be able to see you. Oh, I forgot Kettleson.
So is this like the main entrance?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so Pebble's already in there. Am I more with Elzen or am I where my token is?
Where's your token?
Pebble already ran in. I'm already inside, guys.
Leroy.
Leroy Jenkins!
Roy.
Let me see. I still. Oh yeah, Pebble really ran in.
Pebble just sidles up next to these guys like,
Hi guys, how
So
you doing?
they would react before you got that far in. So,
but I
oof.
was sneaky.
Okay,
Sneaky and quick.
give me a stealth check then. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, yeah, sure. I'll say you got in that far. Meanwhile, everyone else is hanging out at the entrance.
They were like, well, should we go around back? Should we go up front? I don't know. What do you want to do? What?
Like, hey,
What
where's
Pebble?
Pebble?
Right in the front.
You
Hey.
get in and you see him all the way over there, standing by the people.
So you
Just
can see
hang-
there are three hags that are there is a shaft of green light that is emanating from the middle, going up to the top of the tent. In the middle, there's a sigil on the ground. In the middle of the sigil, you can see there's the unconscious body of a human woman in white. The three hags are chanting all around you. Uh, you will also see Salpig, the shadow figure that attacked you before, and the little amphibian guy, each standing near one of the hags, but they haven't noticed you yet. You also see various shadow people standing vigil for some reason, not really reacting to your presence if they can't see you at all, including one who's essentially right next to you and should be able to see you.
Well, just to have it be said, Elzen casts mage armor upon himself. And active for the day.
So I imagine Pebble would have probably walked right over here and been like,
Oh, hi, how are you? My name's Pebble. What's yours? What are you
Um,
doing?
She continues to chant, not paying attention to you, but pauses briefly and turns to Salpig behind her and says, "What is this thing doing here? Kill it." And then returns to her chanting.
What?
Uh, and we can roll initiative as Salpig starts to emanate a green mist around her.
All right. Oh man, Russian.
Oops, I didn't actually click on those guys. So Lee, you get to go first. I don't know if you know what's going on inside, but we'll say you could hear
Well, I
the
mean, I've been around Pebble more than 5 minutes, so I've got an idea what is going to happen. Uh, uh, I'm gonna, let's see, 5, 10, and when I get there, I'm going to fly uh to the south. Are those boxes or crates or something
which
where that
things.
light is?
Yes.
All right. Oh, hell's bells. I moved that stupid thing. Oh, that's my ever burning.
Yeah, that's your torch.
Yeah, okay. Um, I'm gonna assume that I can't I couldn't do 25 running and then fly 50 and then have a 75 movement. Um,
No.
okay.
It doesn't deduct proportionately from your
Correct.
fly speed.
Yeah, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I could get here. That would be total. So yeah, yeah. So I run in and then fly up to fly along the wall here and see if I can see what's going on.
So anything else you're doing? You can see that the Salpig, the little gassed girl, is gearing up to claw out at Pebble. You can also see there is a green mist coming off of her.
I
But
I
anything else
do
you're doing?
do want to ask because it looks like Sow Pig rolled a 20, but in the initiative turn, it's a 12.
Yeah, I messed that up.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's a 12. It's correct now.
Okay.
I don't really have a ranged attack, so yeah, that's all I can do right now.
Okay. The little amphibian guy is going to start to move.
Wait, Lee, do you want to dash?
Shit, I didn't think of that.
Or maybe at least, dodge or something?
Yeah, I guess I could take. Yeah, I'll use the dodge action. Thanks. Okay, I didn't think of that.
Duck, dive, dodge.
That's what
So
I think of. Just like
So the
quick.
amphibian guy does start to move and has to double move, but runs up to Lee, squeezing his giant hands into fists. You can see he's intent on running up to you and trying to strangle you, wrap his hands around your throat, but he doesn't have enough action right now, so he just runs in your direction. Pebble,
Is he going to jump up and grab me or something?
that's what he intends to do.
Okay, okay.
Like he's clearly dashing with his hands, like
Right.
coming at your
Okay.
throat.
So the hag right next to me, what does she look like and how big is she?
She is about 5.5 feet tall. Her skin is green. She looks like her token, but her skin is like a light sort of pea soup green. Uh, and otherwise, she looks very hag-like. She looks almost like a storybook witch. All three of them do, except that one of them is bright red and attractive, so a different sort of storybook style.
Because when she said kill him, my first instinct is for Pebble to kind of run between her legs and hide from Sowpig and use the hag as like cover. But I know that that's
I mean, you're a little guy. I mean, you're not so little you'd have to like
yeah.
crouch and essentially be prone to be under her. You're all you're 4 feet tall ish. She's 5.5. She's a
Yeah.
little bit taller than Paella is. But if you
You
wanted to
know
try
what?
it, you certainly could.
No, you know what I'm gonna do? Here's what I'm gonna do. Uh Pebble is going to slide on his belly around the hag's leg between her legs going behind her and then leap out at Sowpig. Surprise! And go into a leaping kick from there.
Okay.
Uh,
So that is a hit.
and then he'll follow it with a midair twist and reverse heel kick. Kind of like I imagine he goes upside down like Chun-Li and just kick. So
See,
to his
whereas
belly.
yeah, I was imagining you go to your belly, we hear a distinct whoop, 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 as you slide through her space. Then you scream surprise.
Chun-Li kick her twice in the face. uh, just for because I feel like I need to connect with that one for the image. Uh, can I use my and my sparkle?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Oh. And then yeah, I'll flurry.
I mean, frankly, for that whole image, crit fail would have been funny too. But
True. And then one more attack with a flurry.
that's a hit.
So miss. I imagine he ends here.
And you shatter the pig mask on her head, and you see her rather hideous and rotted features underneath as she stares at you with little pin pricks of red light glowing in her dead eyes.
Now, this is the part where I imagine he kind of circle walks like Aang to get behind her so he doesn't have to see her face.
And it's her turn. So you see she begins to emanate even more mist around her. And you have to make me a constitution save. Oh, you know what? No, never mind. I'm wrong. It's next turn. When you start your turn there, you'll have to make a constitution save. But she is going to reach out and attempt to hit you with a claw.
That's a miss.
Nice.
Now, does my protection against good and evil work against her?
Yes.
Okay.
So she was technically at disadvantage. You see also the shadows in the room begin to all turn their gaze in your directions, depending on whoever's closest to them, almost as if they've just been woken up and have suddenly become aware of your being there, but they don't get to go this turn. The shadow creature also begins to move with a fairly high amount of speed and is able to get up to where Pebble is. There she is. And she attempts to reach out and grab Pebble. Oh,
It's a miss.
yeah, you're right. That was probably good.
Yeah.
Elzen,
Elzen is going to move. Let's see. Pebble is this Sow Pig?
yes.
So he's just gonna move, maybe like 10 feet or so. Or is like a pile of boxes?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so he moves here, so he can get within 30 feet of her, and then he's gonna cast uh well, first of all, he like puts his hand to the ground and then rips it up and rips the rips staff out, which I'm just blanking on the name. It's been a bit. Uh I write it down. I did write it down. But he pulls his like ebony staff out. And he's gonna cast Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Uh,
Okay. On Salpig or who?
I'm Sow Pig.
Just reading the spell quickly.
Yeah,
So she fails.
nice.
And you hear a raspy, almost voiceless, but because her voice box is largely desiccated, laughter as she falls to the ground.
Just imagine like the like I think of the Key from that Key and Peele sketch where he's like just like laughing, but he's not really laughing. He's just like moving around. You can laugh, man.
and Pebble seeing somebody laughing and not knowing why they're laughing, he starts going,
Yeah, that's funny. That's so funny. Ah,
Uh, that's my main action move. Uh, do I have to maintain line of sight on a creature that I'm concentrating this on, or is it just for casting?
No, it's just when you cast it.
Okay, if that then he's gonna move back, back behind the boxes,
Okay.
and that'll be Elzen's turn.
Okay. So Kettle Steam is going to go around you. Kettle Steam will move there. And he begins to raise his arms slash non-functional wings and cast a spell. And you see in the center around between essentially the sigil on the floor and the hag next to Salpig, a storm cloud begins to form with lightning flashing within it. And it begins to flash down to the ground around where the hag is, threatening to hit her. Let's see if he pulls something off. And you see she stops chanting and begins to back away.
Nice.
Oops. And it's Lee's turn again.
Mysterious. That's what it's called.
What's in the middle that has got the green mist around it? Can we tell
That
or
is right. So that is there are various sigils that have been drawn or carved into the floor. And there's a woman, a human woman dressed in white laying in the center of them all. You can also, since you're looking at it, make me a perception check. So you can also see that there is floating in the air over the woman in white at about 5 feet high. There is that little glowing badge that Mbop used to carry around with her. That was the sigil of her house. And it does seem as though there are misty tendrils of light that are coming from the hags, except for the one who stopped chanting and withdrew, that seem to be all building up within this floating sigil. Can't speak today for some reason.
Hmm.
let's see. So I'm gonna disengage from this guy
Okay.
and I'm gonna fly straight into that thing. And I don't know if that's an object interaction, but I've got 50 feet of flight, and it's
So
40
as
feet to the thing. So
right. So picking up an object is usually an object interaction, but as you reach the edge of the
yeah,
sigil, make me a strength saving throw.
strength.
This is your jam, Lee.
No, it's not.
Unless you're a Dex barbarian.
So I guess I got to like I can't move my dude. Come on.
You do have an action point or two.
I guess I got to get to like right there.
Right. You get to
Okay.
there, and then as you try to cross the threshold and enter within the ring of the sigils, they flare and you get flung back, essentially directly back because of where you are, 20 feet, so to about there. Oh, that was
Okay.
just your torch. Your torch also got flung back.
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So I got flung back.
yeah,
All right.
but you do still have some movement. You're technically prone right now. So you had how much flight left in you? Like another 10 feet or something.
Yeah.
So you don't have enough movement to get up because that takes
Oh,
half your movement to get up.
okay. All right.
Anything else you're doing?
No, that's it.
Pebble, you all saw this flash of light as Lee tried to enter the center for whatever reason. You yourselves haven't seen the bobstone floating there. And then he got hurled back, landing on his back. Landing on his back in the stands around the big top. So landing a little awkwardly. He is still currently down, but otherwise seems to be fine.
You're muted, Hawk.
You said I had to make a Constitution save.
Yes.
Is that with advantage because of protection of good and evil?
I don't believe so. Let me check. So no, not in this case.
Okay. Ooh.
So you realize that this mist that Salpig is giving off smells disgusting, and the stench is almost overwhelming. But you manage to sort of fight off the sickness that it seems to want to cause to rise up your throat.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is gross. You need a bath.
Um, and then he will uh take his trident off his back and strike at Sow Pig.
That's a miss. Well, yeah, 2 12s. That is a miss.
And then he will flurry. 15 hit.
15 hits. That's a hit.
All right. Um, okay. And then that'll be his turn.
Okay. The little amphibian guy rushes over, seeing that Lee is now down. And instead of trying to, well, first he is going to attempt to grapple, I guess. So he leans down and tries to wrap his rubbery arms around you. Oh, where is it? So you can make me an acrobatics or an athletics check.
Yeah.
So you are grappled. And
Okay.
then while you're grappled, again, the arms on this creature are sort of rubbery. You can see them not only wrapping around you, but they seem to extend outward, stretching. And one of them produces a dagger that attempts to stab you, and it has advantage because it has you grappled. So it hits twice,
Okay.
but that's its turn. Selpig is going to stand up. Well, no, Selpig's still laughing, I guess.
Yeah,
No,
she gets to
she
make
has
a
to make a
save.
save.
Yeah, at the end of her turn.
Oh,
So
wait. So with her. Okay. I was just wondering if there was any additional things that I benefited from while she was laughing. I guess not.
Selpig stopped laughing, possibly because she got kicked in the face twice.
That would do it.
And she stands up, but oh no, she can't stand up. That was the end of her turn, so she's still prone. The shades that have all begun to take notice of you begin to move in. They look sort of wispy and weak, like they could be easily dissipated, as they really appear to be little more than tufts of gas that have taken on a human-like appearance. Human in most cases, sometimes not human. But one of them moves up to Elzin, and it attempts to move through your space and drain the life out of you.
Well, that's gonna hit.
You take one necrotic damage. And this one is going to do the same to Pebble. There we go. Also
Miss.
dealing one. Oh, right, right. You're right. Elzin, in fact, it should have been a 12. Does a 12 hit you?
Oh,
You had made
12, yeah, that's right. 12 does not hit.
right, so you didn't take that point of damage. These guys are just going to move. Uh, and you see the entrance to the back of the tent opens up, and some more shades come out. That's their turn. And then the shadow creature, who looks much more substantial than these other creatures, is it going to attempt to grab? Let me see. So she begins to fiddle with this moon-shaped mask on her face and begins to emanate a cone of darkness around Pebble that is going to completely blind Pebble because you're standing now in a frozen cone of darkness, but you have to make another Constitution save.
Okay. I'm immune to cold damage.
Okay. I thought you were resistant. Well, she still would have used it because she doesn't know that, but
Mhm.
uh sort of a waste.
See, Pebble is like just enjoying it.
Right. You are, however, still blinded as she's
Yeah.
created an area of darkness around you. Elzen,
What is this creature?
that's one of the hags that backed up because there's a lightning storm in the spot she was standing.
Do I have a clear line of sight of the creature that's currently fighting? Uh,
So not exactly because it's standing on the bleachers and you're next to
oh,
the bleachers.
oh yeah, I see. These are bleachers, not boxes.
Right.
Uh, Elzen would move and risk the attack of opportunity from the shade.
Yeah, it would try to hit you, but I assume that's a miss.
That 13's a hit.
Okay. So you take one necrotic damage.
So he stands up, gets up onto the bleachers, and coalesces energy into his hands and then or into his staff and shoots it off as an eldritch blast at the creature that Lee
Okay.
is fighting. Oh, well,
So roll to see if it's a critical fail.
uh, 13.
That is a miss. Let's see, where's the list? So it says you take weapon damage, but in this case, I probably really meant the attacks damage. But the real effect is it's not so you take the damage that you rolled. So you take 6 force damage and you have to make a dexterity save.
You mean 3 force damage, the original.
Yeah. You're right.
Okay. And dex save. Awesome at these.
So you not only managed to accidentally shoot yourself, but you have a wound on you that is going to fester, possibly because you're in this area of shadowy darkness that has been infected by the hags.
I imagine he shoots an eldritch blast and it ricochets off and hits him on the leg. It's like, ah, ee.
That's like Peter Griffin on the
Yeah,
ground.
ah, yeah, exactly. It is going to hurt.
So you have this wound, just make a note somewhere that your hit point maximum is slowly going to start to reduce until you can get this wound healed. There's no other effects at the moment, but it, has the potential to be life threatening if you don't get it treated.
Noted.
Anything else you're doing?
No, I'll let them take their turn to hurt me after I took my turn to hurt me.
So Kettle Steam is going to start moving away, not liking the fact that the hag is getting closer. But there's a thing there. Kettle Steam will back up to there. Kettle Steam is then also going to, I think I closed her character sheet. Kettle Steam is then going to attempt to Eldritch Blast the hag. So it doesn't come all that close to the hag, though you can see as it comes in her general vicinity, a cylinder of magical energy goes up around her and seems to completely absorb it. That's Kettlestein's turn. Lee, you are grappled and prone.
Okay. I will rage and try to bite this thing. I guess technically I could stand up even if I'm grappled. So,
No, because your speed is now 0 because you're grappled.
okay, so I'm still prone. All right, I will rage and try to hit this guy. Nope.
Yeah, it's a miss. You can still try to hit him with your shield.
That's a bonus action. I already used bonus action to rage.
I see. Okay. Pebble.
So I just want to clarify, this is the cone of darkness that currently exists around me.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, so Pebble is going to shift out of it there. Um, I don't know if they can see in the dark, um, through the magical darkness. If they can, they'd get attacks of opportunity.
Yeah, you're right. They can. So the shade will attack and miss. And Gleam Shadow tries to reach out,
And miss.
but she only does cold damage.
Oh. But she also can do dexterity damage.
Right, she could. I would say that these sorts of effects only apply if, like this particular attack at least, only applies if she can actually damage you. Like it's the cold that's causing the dexterity damage. But
Oh, okay.
but she hasn't figured out that you're immune to it yet.
Hmm.
She might figure it out, in which case she would probably go attack somebody else. But for now, she's just trying to kill this obnoxious little penguin.
Um, wait, I'm still going.
Sorry, go ahead.
Uh, so if I use an action point, uh, do I get multiple Kai points back if I want to like
Yes, you can get, I believe, up to 5 Kai points back.
okay. So I'm gonna do that. And then I'm gonna hit Sow Pig with the trident.
That's a hit.
And then I will flurry.
That's a hit too. Also a hit.
Um, and
Oh,
that's
I'm
my
sorry.
turn.
I forgot. You have to make another Constitution save. You're
Oh,
still within 5 feet of her in the stench. So you made it.
clutch on those on saves. All right, so that's my turn.
So the Lornling amphibian guy, he is, now that you're grappled, going to attempt to strangle Lee. So Lee, you have to make either a strength or a dexterity or athletics or acrobatics check.
Athletics. Nope.
I mean, you can make I don't which is better for you, that or acrobatics?
Athletics is better. Yeah, I would not pick the
Okay.
lesser.
Okay. So now you are not only grappled, but it's got its rubbery hands around your throat. So you will go unconscious in a few rounds if you can't otherwise escape the grapple. And you have disadvantage on these on attacks from while you're grappled now,
Okay.
as it tries to choke the life out of you. So you don't know how many rounds it will take before you go unconscious. However, do.
Okay.
But you can feel, your airway closing, and you know you're going to pass out soon. Salpig will finally, well, no, Salpig will, now that she's not laughing, get up. And she is going to try, enraged, she is now going to try to once again attack the penguin, clawing at her, but
Miss.
missing. Salpig looks like the integrity of her corpse is pretty heavily damaged at this point. She might not make it. So this shade is going to move up, and this shade is going to move through the darkness. Uh, I'll have to make it there. Now these guys are just going to double move, so they don't get to attack. So the shade up near Elzen is going to attack.
13's a hit.
So that's another one necrotic damage. Two of them next to Pebble are going to attack. The second one might have hit. I don't know.
Nope.
Pebble's AC. Okay.
Okay,
And the
16.
other, right. And the other ones all had to move too far to attack. Gleam Shadow is going to, she can step into her own darkness. And so from the darkness, Gleam Shadow is going to attack, even though she can't actually damage you.
Still
But she
miss.
misses anyway. So has not caught on to the fact that you're immune to her attack. Elzen,
Elzen's gonna cast sleep at I think this point here. It's like because it's within 20 feet of a point that people can be affected. So that gives a pretty good radius.
I mean, so sleep just be. I assume you know how sleep works, but sleep can affect your allies as well. And I know that Lee, who is already being choked to death, has taken 20 points of damage. Lee might be the lowest hit point person in that radius.
Oh, I see. It starts at the lowest first. It's not like
Yes.
you choose who falls asleep.
No.
Okay,
Not like Baldur's Gate.
never mind then. That would not be good.
Would be
Uh,
funny.
send you off sooner. No.
Maybe if he goes limp, it's harder to choke him out.
Hmm.
In that case, hmm. In that case, I'm gonna shoot do another Eldritch Blast.
So
And
you're at disadvantage on ranged attacks because that creature is behind you.
is it a proximity thing?
It's yes, if you have somebody, if you're in the threat range of some other creature, ranged attacks have disadvantage.
Oh, that's not. Oh, I have spell sniper. Does that?
That I don't think that negates,
Being
but let me
within
see.
5 feet of an enemy doesn't impose disadvantage.
Okay. Okay, you're right.
Yeah, I always thought of that as like shooting an enemy, like a point blank shot. But
Right. So that too, but it's also as you attempt to shoot anybody else.
gotcha. So yeah, does a 20 hit um
Yes, 20 hits that guy.
golem creature?
Yep.
And I'm gonna apply the staggering blast to it. Uh, so it cannot take reactions.
Okay. Anything else you're doing?
Yes, I'm gonna move here and take attack of opportunity. Of course, that's a hit. These things roll really well. Well, I guess they got a +4. Um,
I would say make sure this fight's not too deadly because there are a number of them inbound. Uh they are sort of wispy, smoke-like creatures. They're also extremely like low hit points. Like one hit will kill them, but they're going to keep coming, waves and waves of them. They're minions basically.
yeah. Um, Shucks. I wanted to move a little bit further. Well, that's all right. What I'm gonna do is from this point, uh, I guess I'll cast another Eldritch Blast and hit. All right, no. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do Eberron's Claw. So he pulls out. He like hits the ground with Hysterius and a piece of a rock column, a rock pillar shoots up, and he's on this bench. There's these bleachers here, but he mentions it just like it comes out like right here.
Right.
Yep, and that's what he's gonna do. So spending an action point to do that.
So where did you create the pillar?
Right here. I'll move over a little bit if I need to. But basically right next to the bleachers.
Wait, why did you create the pillar there?
Well, because there's open ground. It didn't couldn't create it on the bleachers. But I'm gonna set it up for an turn like in a to because I can launch it as like in a second turn.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm setting it up for like a delayed attack.
Is there anything else you're doing?
That'll be it.
Yeah. Kettle Steam will attempt to Eldritch Blast the hag again, though it will be essentially to the same effect. The blast is dead on, but it hits this hag's shield and completely dissipates. And he is going to cease to concentrate on the silent image because it's not doing anything at the moment anyway. That's his turn. Well, that thing moved. Oops, I'm in the wrong thing. Wrong layer. He is going to hop down from the bleachers and start to move up in this direction. At that point, this hag screams, "Enough!" And I need Pebble to make me a Constitution save. Sorry, no, a Strength save. Happy with the 16?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Everyone, including Pebble, you all get lifted up into the air and moved over and dropped 5 feet unceremoniously as she walks back over to her position and begins to chant again.
Oh, oh, that was pretty fun.
And it's Lee's turn as you're being
Uh,
choked out. You can
looks like it's
decide.
another. Yeah, go ahead.
You can decide how much Lee is enjoying this.
Let's see. Uh, looks like it's another athletics check to try to break the grapple.
Yes.
That's about all I can do. No. Uh, let me burn my action point. Try again. Oh, wow.
Uh,
Okay.
so you manage to pry the fingers from around your throat and get yourself out of the grapple. So you're not grappled at all now.
Okay. Uh, bonus action, I'll smash this thing with the shield. Rick.
So that's a miss.
13. Okay. All right.
As this creature is incredibly quick, it is able to dodge around the shield. Pebble.
Um, Pebble's gonna continue to pummel Sow Pig.
That's a hit, and that is enough to down Salpig.
Cool. Um, and then I will flurry. Uh, attack that guy. Oof.
That's a miss.
Oh wait, it's a
That's it.
14, isn't it? Do I have advantage on when good and
No,
okay.
they have disadvantage. You don't have advantage. So
Okay.
yeah, that was a miss. You see the whole thing just completely vanishes as your kick dissipates the mist around it.
Oh wait, I thought the 7 like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're
the
right. You're right.
24
You
was
should
a
have.
confirmation that it's
Right.
not.
You're right. I forgot that I added critical fumbles to this.
So
So
I
it's
hope that that's just a
just a
miss.
miss. Yes.
Okay. Oh Jesus.
Just another miss.
All right. That's my turn.
The Lordling uh, draws its dagger again and is going to attempt to stab into Lee. Oh, did the first one hit?
No, 16.
Okay. And the second one may be a critical fumble. Oh, the second one is a critical fumble. Maybe a super critical fumble.
Oh man.
Oh, is a is a super critical fumble.
Oh boy.
So roll me a D100. Not exactly like instant death critical fumble, but 23.
It was 100, it might have been.
So it falls 10 feet backwards and loses its dagger essentially into the wall. Its dagger falls uh, 30 feet away, flying out of its hand. And you get to take an attack against it. In fact, you get to take an attack of opportunity and a normal attack because it crit failed twice. So make me 2 attacks.
Okay. 13.
So the first one was a miss.
Okay. And I got another one.
Yep.
18.
And that
That's a,
that was a hit.
okay. 4 piercing and 2 psychic.
Okay. Psychic. Okay. And that's its turn. She is now dispatched. So the shades are going to go. This shade is going to go after Kettlestein. And hit him for 1. All of these shades are essentially going to go after Pebble. So 4 of them, especially the one that you tried to kill. Miss, miss, maybe a critical failure. All right, I think you've avoided the critical failure with the other 2. Miss, miss. And then there are 2 around Lee that are going to go after Lee. It's an 18 hit.
Yep.
And take 1 necrotic.
Okay.
Uh, maybe a critical hit. Oh, that is a critical hit.
All right.
So you can roll me a D100 to see what actually happens from this. And of course, you rolled high.
Of course it can.
Max damage.
So its max damage is only 1, but you both take 1 damage as Lee buffets into you.
So from the critical hit, how much damage do I take?
Just 1. I'm sorry, 2.
2. Okay. All right.
Uh, let's see if Gleam can work this out. Gleam is going to attempt to hit again. So finally did hit, but is at that point begins to realize that she cannot affect you with her magical cold powers. Still, she doesn't want to get beaten up, so she'll stay there. She has other things she could try. Elzen,
Elzen is going to use his action to command the uh command the pillar he's gonna launch it at the the uh the bop stone.
Okay.
So basically just like send it just careening across into the circle to try to launch the stone out of it.
So there's also a woman there in the center, laying prone.
Yeah, maybe you would have it like not like straight up like this, but just kind of like a pool cue.
Okay. So post the spell again. Let's see. So it unclear as to how this interacts with the barrier around the sigils. But I'm going to say make me a caster check to see if you can penetrate this. Normally it would be a strength check.
That's just D20 plus spell attack.
D20 plus just your spell casting modifier. So it's basically in your case a charisma check.
Okay. I'll just do a charisma check.
So you are able to send it through the barrier. You can see it noticeably slows down, but you send it through, and it hits the bopstone, and the bopstone goes flying out. Roll me a, so I guess we'll just assume it moves straight, but roll me a d6. So it goes flying 40 feet over in this direction,
Okay.
and
Uh,
you see the glowing in the center begins to fade.
cool. Um, Elzen's little feet. Uh, hmm. Yeah, Mike's inspiring me today, so I'm gonna spend my other action point, just blow it all out. I'm gonna use my second action to do a move action so I can get to basically I'd be able to get here with my 50 my solid 50 feet of movement. So he like leaps over the railing here. Assuming there's a railing, and
Yeah,
then
there is no railing. There's just bleachers that go down to the floor.
so
Uh,
he
so
leaps up the bleachers and runs
so
around.
these two guys will get attacks of opportunity.
That's okay.
The first guy, maybe crit.
Does
Think,
the they have disadvantage on
oh, you're right. You're right.
protection from evil?
So it was just we can ignore the second one. The first one was a hit, then the second guy goes, and he misses. So you take 1 point of damage.
All right, that'll be my turn.
Uh, Kettle Steam doesn't like being attacked. Can you close this thing? I guess it did. Kettle Steam is going to try to use a dagger against this thing. So Kettle Steam is able to destroy the one in front of her. That's her turn. The hags all stop chanting and their gaze turns towards Elzin and towards the Bobstone. What does this one want to do? The one that's closest is going to do something.
This one.
Yes. She raises a hand while looking at Elzin. Make me a charisma save.
Right.
So you are able to resist, but you can feel her reaching into your mind, trying to dominate you.
Alzen kind of is into it, but maybe later, baby.
And then she is going to move in the direction of the Bobstone and pick it up. And it's Lee's turn.
She picked it up.
Yes.
Was the Bopstone here?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I see.
I got these two guys in front of me, all right?
Yes.
I will attack one of them. 16.
That's a hit. And it evaporates as you attack it.
And I try to use my bonus action to smash the other one.
That also hits, and it also evaporates. Anything else?
Yes, I'm going to move. Uh, how high is the tent top?
It's about 50 feet overhead where you are. These, in fact, these are little platforms. In the center, it's actually much higher because it's
Okay.
tented.
Okay.
These themselves, these platforms are about 50 feet up, which is where the high wire act normally is. But it's about 75 feet in the center, about 50 feet where you are.
Okay. I'm going to fly down to here. Yeah, I can get here.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Pebble.
You're muted, Mike.
So Pebble has just been having fun this whole time. He's just been dancing around, hitting things, dodging. Uh, but then, he kind of looks around and he's like, huh,
Wait a minute. There's a woman there. I don't think she wants to be there.
and then he will use he'll use an action point to get back a couple Kai points. Then he'll use one of his Kai points to do Step of the Wind. So he's gonna disengage and dash. And try to get to this woman, but I know that there's this magical barrier that Pebble knows nothing about.
So as you reach the edge of the barrier, make me a strength save. So you are flung 40 feet back from the edge of the barrier. So to there.
Oops. Uh,
Wait, I didn't move Pebble,
so
did I? I moved the wrong one. So
okay, so
you were moved
30.
to around here.
Okay. So with his dash, he can actually, well, but then is he landing prone?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so he gets here, he lands prone. He still has 35 feet of movement. So he gets up and then so half of that would be 15 feet left. So 1, 2, 3. And then he'll take his action because he hasn't taken that yet to run back.
You running into the barrier again?
Yeah.
Okay. Make me another strength save.
Oh no.
So you are flung back another 40 feet.
Um,
I imagine Pebble thinks this is awesome. This is like
yeah.
a bouncy castle, just a vertical one.
This is the hidden attraction at the circus.
So, so interesting thing about Pebble because he still has 15 feet of movement and he can use his belly slide so that he can move when prone. So he's going to use another 15 feet and get here, sliding on his belly.
Makes sense?
So did he, when he get flung back, did he do like a flip and then land on his belly and then just like kick off again?
Yep. And he's like, why did I do that the first time? It's way more fun.
That's awesome.
So that's my turn.
So the Lordling. Which way? So it is going to do a frog-like leap. I can get... So this pillar is not here anymore.
No.
Pillar is actually down around here now. So he is going to leap over next to Pebble. First, he is going to attempt to grapple Pebble. So Pebble can make an athletics or acrobatics check. So you're able to avoid being entangled in its rubbery arms.
I imagine Pebble is just like spinning like a bottle on his belly, avoiding as the thing is trying to reach for his neck.
These shades are going to just move over to attack. So 4 attacks. One. I think that one
That.
hit.
Yep.
That one
Miss.
missed. Miss.
Miss. Miss.
Miss. Let's see. You see more shades appear coming through this door. But that's as much as they can do this round. These two. Gleam Shadow is going to float across the room and attack Kettlestein. Uh-oh, for Kettlestein. Kettlestein did not drink the berry juice.
Oh no.
So
Look,
somebody roll me a D100.
I got it. Looks like Kettlestein's facing his justice here tonight.
Yeah, apparently.
No, that is
So
a 3.
Kettlestein is just knocked prone, but does take damage and has lost some dexterity. Kettlestein not necessarily the hardiest, but still up. Elzen.
Hmm. I'm gonna hit the this hag with an Eldritch Blast. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna hit this hag with an Eldritch Blast. The one that's near me.
So your blast would hit, but it's completely absorbed as a cylinder of magical energy goes up around her. She looks at you with complete disdain and then just looks past you like you're nothing.
Okay.
Kettlesteam is going to disengage. Kettlesteam does not like this. Uh, well, no, he doesn't have to disengage. He will, she will. So I guess from your perspective, Kettlesteam just completely vanishes from sight. And you're not necessarily sure where Kettlesteam is at this point. The red hag standing in front of you just begins to completely ignore Elzen and raises the bopstone into the air, which is hovering over her clawed hand. And it flies back into the center of the room, almost as if it's being attracted by a magnet. And you see again the runes begin to flare up, and she moves back, and the 3 hags begin to chant again. And it's Lee's turn. Oops.
Hmm. Hmm. I guess I will go after this hag that is right here. Gotta see what happens. 19.
So you managed to hit her, and she seems to take the full amount of the damage. I assume you're still raging, so she takes
Yep.
the psychic damage too.
Okay. And I'll try to hit her with my shield. 19 plus 2 psychic, so 6 if she takes that.
She does. And she briefly stops chanting and turns towards you. I mean, she took the damage. You could see the wound, but it doesn't look like it affected her as much as you might have hoped.
Okay.
Anything else you're doing?
Nope.
Pebble.
Pebble, starting to understand that these old ladies here might be the hags. Uh, he is going to uh leap up, and I imagine him doing like a flip, trying to land in like on this hag's chest in front of him, like, and then just start going in her face, like just like pulling her hair and like grabbing her nose, just really just being as annoying as possible.
Okay. What sort of check do you imagine that would be?
Acrobatics.
Sure. Make an acrobatics check with charisma.
Uh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking right now. My okay, proficiency is 2, so it'd be 13. So or plus 3. So it'd be same as my as this.
Okay. She is not suitably annoyed and just continues chanting. She, you know, rolls her eyes a bit, has to look around you to see what she's doing, but otherwise, does not break her concentration on what she's doing.
What if I also like hug her head with the ice on my chest just all up against her?
You try, but she is
Yeah.
dodging around you as you attempt to annoy her. This could be an historic moment when Pebble is insufficiently annoying.
Oh,
Some said it was impossible. Anything else you're doing?
I imagine that's my action,
Yeah.
so I don't think I have anything I could do as a bonus action with that. Um, no. So that's my turn.
Okay. So the Lornlang will attempt to grapple you again. He's rolling well.
Well, wait, I'm on like the hag.
Right. And it's right next to the hag. So it is, you haven't grappled the hag. So it is trying to grapple you and pull you off the hag.
Okay. I guess I kind of imagine it was part of a grapple too. So, but that so okay. Acrobatics.
So it has grappled you.
Okay.
But that's all it's doing this round. The shades, however, will start to move up and attack you. So
Miss,
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 miss, miss.
miss. And then these shades will all move. Let's see. Well, two of them are going to move over. This guy's not going to quite make it. Two of them will move over to Elzen. One is going to move around and start moving towards Lee and have to double move to get up to Lee. But two of them will be able to attack Elzen this round. Miss and maybe a critical fumble. Uh, that is a miss because what's your AC?
13, so 13 would be a
Oh,
hit.
so it's just a regular miss, and then the other guy miss. And you see more shades behind them move in. Gleam Shadow. Gleam Shadow begins to float down in the direction of Lee as well. But she has to double move to get to Lee, and that's her turn. Elzen.
Elson steps into the middle of these shades and casts Sword Burst.
Nice.
So they got to make dex saves.
Yep.
Uh,
This. So one of them made it. Two of them made it, but one of them is destroyed.
does the I'm assuming
No,
the hag
yeah,
doesn't.
the cylinder again raises and absorbs the sword burst, the magic before it can hit her.
Okay. And then I'm gonna move. Okay, I moved like 5 feet. I'm gonna move another, like, yeah, about there. So these guys would get opportunity attacks.
I think the second guy hit 15.
Yeah, it hits.
You take 1 damage. Kettle steam. You will cautiously poke his head in, and seeing that the coast is clear, will come in a bit further. Kettle
Oh, I
steam is
thought he was
going.
going to totally abandon us.
Now he's just getting away from the thing that was attacking him. Kettle steam is going to try to blast the Lornling, and hits, but hasn't hexed him. So the Lornling is struck from behind with a blast of force as it grapples Pebble, uh, maintaining
How
a hold. Go ahead.
how tall is a Lornling?
The Lornling is probably about the same height as Pebble, a little bit taller maybe.
So I imagine that the Lornling is kind of grabbing Pebble like balancing itself on the hag's back while Pebble is on the hag's chest, like messing with the hag, and then he gets hit in the back.
Right. I imagine that once it had you grappled, it pulled you off of the hag and into
Oh,
itself,
fair.
as it would not want to grapple the hag itself. So Lee's turn again.
And now I got three guys on me. Rig.
I mean, the hag is completely ignoring you. The hag barely reacted to the fact that you were hitting her.
All right, well, I guess I will have to go after whatever this other shadow thing is that showed up. 17.
So both Gleam Shadow and the Shade in front of you are shadow things. So which one were you attacking?
Oh, well, the not the minion looking shadow, the other one, the gleam one, whatever that thing is.
Okay, that hits.
Okay.
Uh, you're not sure that she took the full damage of that attack,
Right.
but she took some damage.
And I miss with my shield.
Yeah.
All right.
Anything else you're doing?
No, that's it.
Pebble.
All right. Pebble is gonna attack this guy. Hit him with his trident,
That's a miss.
and then flurry.
The first one's a hit.
All right. And that's my turn.
Okay. So the Lordling, now that it has you grappled, is going to try to strangle you. So you have to make a DC 16 strength check or a dexterity check. So
Dexterity check
presumably
or save?
an acrobatics check.
Okay. Uh,
So it can't quite get its rubbery fingers around your throat, but it's trying.
mm-hmm.
And that's its turn. The shades are all going to reach out to attack Pebble.
Miss,
Miss, miss,
miss, miss,
miss, miss.
miss.
And then two shades are going to attack Elzen as they move. Actually, there's a couple more that are going to move and be able to attack Elzen. This one will move here. Make room for the next wave. So 5 of them are going to attack Elzen. That's a hit. 23. That's a miss and maybe a critical fail. That's a critical fail. So roll me a D100.
Wait, Elzen, none of them hit.
You're right. I was only looking at the first number.
Yeah. But still potentially he still critical fails.
Right. So 76 is the attacker takes its own damage and has to make save or suffer a lingering injury. So the same thing that happened to Elzen. But this thing being it's incapable of taking a lingering injury, but it also has 1 hit point and is a minion. So I'm going to say that one evaporates.
He got a little
Uh,
bit of a static shock trying to touch Elzen.
right. It's a miss. That's a miss. Uh, 13 is a hit, I think. And then the one that's next to Lee will
Wait, how
also
many
attack.
are hitting Elzen?
There were 5, but one of them killed itself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the one that's next to Lee will attack. I assume a 14 doesn't hit.
Correct.
And then you see there are more of these things that move in from outside the tent. 4 of them. Gleam Shadow is going to attempt to hit Lee. Uh-oh. It's not a crit hit, though.
So what's the damage?
It's just the 6 cold damage, and your dexterity score is reduced by 2.
Okay.
And that's her turn. Elzen.
I'm gonna try this sword burst again. Well, that's all I really need. So
Let's see.
that should affect the 4 around me.
Right. Let's see. So 1 fail. You made it. Fail. Fail. So 3 fail.
There we go.
Anything else you're doing?
Um, that's it for now.
Okay. Kettle Steam will try to Eldritch Blast again. You know what? Kettle Steam's going to hex the Lorn Leg. We'll spend the spell slot and then try to Eldritch Blast. Ooh. Ah, didn't crit, but let's see. 3. Kettle Steam kills the Lord Leg. So as it's standing there going after Pebble, it is hit from behind with a red blast of force energy, and its head explodes, covering Pebble in gore. And the hags continue chanting. Lee.
Oh boy. Oh yeah, well. Hmm. Well, there's a whole lot I can do here. Just keep fighting. I will attack this, whatever the hell that thing is. 15, maybe?
Which thing are you attacking?
The one that did the cold damage.
Right. 15 just hits.
Okay. 6 plus 2 piercing. Try to smash it with my shield. And that's probably a miss.
Yes, that's a miss.
All right.
Pebble. Not sure what Mike's laughing at.
Pebble turns around, sees the back of the hag in front of him, raises his hand up, and goes right to her butt.
Sorry, what was that? I didn't catch it.
He's gonna go. He's gonna raise up his hand and go right into her butthole.
She
No
doesn't
one can
flinch.
ignore that. It's a game him and his friends would play as kids.
So, in part because you amused yourself so much, you could make another annoyance check with advantage.
uh, uh, uh,
So if you're not checking for oil, is it checking for magic? Is that what it'd be?
uh, whew.
Checking for ether?
So roll again. So you poke her in the butt. You find your finger hits something hard as you find there is a butt plug there, and you force it deeper into her, which causes her to stop chanting. Jump forward a bit as she spins around and looks at you like you're crazy. She looks incredibly uncomfortable as she shifts around. The other two hags continue chanting. Anything else you're doing?
No.
Just wait. They'll get what's coming.
This guy's dead. So the shades are still going. They're going to move in to attack. Barely seeing the humor in this at all. Though you think you saw one of them snigger.
That one actually hits.
Yeah,
And that one.
miss,
Not that one.
miss.
Not that one.
And these guys are going to move up around Elzen. So again, 5 of them will attack Elzen. Miss. I think that's a hit.
Which one?
The 13-16. And then the 21-20.
Yeah, that's 2 hits.
3 hits. Last guy. 4 hits. And you see more of them begin to pile into the room. And then the one that's over by Lee will attack Lee. Miss. Gleam Shadow is also going to attack Lee. Oh, maybe a critical fail. Critical fail. Roll me a D100. 32 is we had this one before. She stumbles and moves back 10 feet, is knocked prone, and is disarmed, but she's not holding a weapon. And you get to take an attack of opportunity. That's a hit. So she goes back here, takes 11 damage, minus resistance. And she falls prone. Elzen.
He's going to clear the air.
Made it. Missed. Missed.
Yes.
Missed. Made it. Two made it. Anything else?
Um, that's it.
Kettlestein will move forward. Forget, did anybody mention the name of the Bobstone to Kettlestein?
If someone did, it would have been Paelius.
Yeah, I don't think he did. But Kettlestein is going to yell out, "Destroy it! Destroy the rock!" And then Kettlestein is going to shoot an Eldritch Blast at Gleam Shadow. And hit. And he's going to use his bonus action to hex Gleam Shadow. Lee. Oh, you know what? Actually, he missed. Gleam Shadow is prone. I forgot. My mistake. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought prone only affects attacks within melee attacks within 5 feet.
No, I believe it gives, if you are prone, ranged attackers have disadvantage against you.
That's correct.
Hmm.
Let's see here. I'm gonna use my bonus action, try to hit this shadow thing. The 19. Destroy
That
it.
hits. Yes, you destroyed it.
Uh, and she's not even paying attention to me, is she?
Nope.
All right. Do I have advantage against a prone, or is it we just talked
If
about?
if you're within 5 feet, you have advantage against a prone target that you're attacking in melee.
All right, I'm gonna run up to whatever that creature is and try to hit it with the Morning Star.
That's a hit.
3 piercing, 2 psychic.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Pebble.
So, having sufficiently distracted the hag, uh, he is going to once more, believing that will make it easier for him now that they're not all focusing. Uh, he's gonna go "Whoop, whoop, 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 whoop," whoop," and run back into try and grab this person. And he's gonna take all these attacks of opportunity. That's okay.
That's a hit.
Yep. Yep.
Miss.
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 Miss. All right.
Make me a strength save. You are able to power through it this time.
And then can I grab her
Yes, you can.
and then continue to run with her?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. And let me see. So I was here, so that was 5, 10. I have 10, 15, 25, 30, 35. Um, so I still have, am I half speed now with her?
Yes.
Okay, so then that'll bring me down to 15 more feet. So right there.
Is that it?
Yep.
Uh, so these three shades will move up. Uh, actually, then these shades are all going to pile in because what do they know? This shade is going to move over here to attack Lee. That is 8 attacks on Elzin.
I could kill him.
1 attack on Lee. Ooh, let's do Elzin's first. That's a hit. I think that's a hit too.
Hit. Oh, that's a hit. A hit. Miss.
Miss. Miss. Miss. And the last one.
Miss.
Miss.
4.
And then the one on Lee. Miss. Right. What's your AC again? Forget.
It's 15 now.
Right. Uh, Gleam Shadow rises up and tries to attack Lee again. Miss. Elzin.
Oh, he's gonna do sword burst again.
Pretty much has to. Can't move.
Yeah.
Completely surrounded. So, starting in the upper left corner, dead. That one made it. That one made it. That one made it. Oh, they're doing good this time. That one failed. Next one failed. Last one made it. So let's see. Dead.
1, 2, 3.
Anything else?
Three of them died.
Yep.
Were there like some that were piled on top of each other?
No, it was the one who was here, and then the two that were here.
Oh, okay. Um, I still see their tokens. Oh,
Uh,
it's just my, I don't see them on your screen. They just haven't updated on mine. Um, no, there's nothing I can really do.
okay. Kettle Steam. Uh, Kettle Steam is going to attempt to Eldritch Blast the one she's hexed. That is also a miss, though. Uh, the hag, who is dancing around in some discomfort because of the butt poke, has to hunch down and hike up her skirt and reach under it to adjust something, but otherwise loses this turn.
Hmm.
We found the weak spot.
So, Lee, your turn.
So imagine I see Pebble with the body, but the stone is still in there, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna keep attacking this gleaming thing, whatever this thing is.
You're
Yeah.
doing really good.
15.
That's a hit.
Okay.
And what were you saying before about
Oh,
the
God
colors?
dang it. 7. So that's a critical fail.
So roll a D100.
Here it will be high. 35.
I'm on the wrong one. So
That's the thing
this
about
is same
watercolors.
one
It's
as
all
was
about layering.
rolled last time. You stumble and are pushed 10 feet back. You push yourself 10 feet back from Gleam. Uh, she gets, she and the shadow both get attacks of opportunity,
Okay.
and you're prone, and so roll me a D4.
Oh, okay.
So your shield goes flying 40 feet behind you.
Okay.
Let me do the attacks of opportunity versus shade. It's a miss. And then Gleam Shadow.
There it is. That drops me to 0. All right.
So you stumble back prone and then fall unconscious.
Yep.
Pebble.
Is this woman waking up that I'm carrying at all?
No.
Hmm. Trying to see if
You could try to rouse her, but dragging her hasn't done it.
yeah, I'd like to try and rouse her because if she can run on her own, then I can help Lily. So I kind of shake her. I'm like,
Wake up! Wake up! You gotta go! You gotta run! You gotta run! Wake up!
So make me a charisma check. She stirs slightly, but she doesn't wake up.
you know what this means? I turn her over.
You may not be quite as inspired, but your action was to try to wake her up. Next turn though, right into the poop chute.
um, I am gonna continue to drag her another.
I'm just thinking now this is going to become like the whole campaign, just sexual assault over and over. Pebble forms his own monastic school.
I hate to see what the future looks like. That future. Was going back in time to rewrite the future a mistake?
So I'm gonna drag her
Pebble's
another.
school of the digital probe.
I think I preferred the bite.
I'm gonna go by wait, he was here, so 5 or 10, 20, 30. And then dash is a bonus action, so another 10, 20, 30. Uh so I have 70 feet of movement. So could I go another 5?
Yeah.
Okay. That's my turn.
I forgot to move. So you see several more shades appear in the entranceway below and move in up here, but they're not able to get close to Elzen. And then the 6 that are around Elzen. Hmm, that's a hit. Another hit. Uh,
That's
miss.
he's dropped the he only had 3 HP left.
So you're unconscious. Uh, Gleam Shadow.
You know, I'm starting to realize, does Pebble see any doors or anything in this direction that he's moving?
Nope.
Awesome.
Gleam Shadow, who's been hit several times by Kettlestein, is going after Kettlestein. And she hits. And he takes another 2 dexterity damage. So Elzen, make me a death save.
Right.
So that's one fail. Kettlestein can't use his little Misty Step trick again today. So Kettlestein panics and reaches into her robe and throws something at the ground. And you see there is, those of you who are awake at least can see that there is a burst of gas around him.
Smoke bomb.
Sort of. It is a kind of smoke bomb. Oops, forgot the thing. Let's see what the save is. Uh, and Gleam Shadow falls to the ground asleep. Kettle Steam then moves. No, he's not going to run right next to the hag. He would just go straight down. Lee, make me a death save. That's a success. Pebble.
All right, I'm gonna try and wake her up again.
Okay. Make me another check. Again, she responds, but she doesn't wake up.
Okay. Uh, I will continue to drag her another uh 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Get as much distance as he can from everybody while he tries and does this. As well as trying to see if maybe there's a way of ducking under the tent to try and get through it, or, also preparing to potentially try and cut the tent with the dagger.
So most of the shades are going to go and swarm around. You know, a lot of them would have to double move. So four of them can attack Kettleston. Uh, that's a hit. It's a critical hit. Someone roll me a D100.
You got it.
Target is pushed back 10 feet and knocked prone and takes attacks of opportunity. So Kettleston was pushed back there. So I'll do the rest of them. Basically 7 more attacks. That's a hit. Miss. That's a miss. Uh-oh. That's a miss. Miss. That's a hit. That's a hit. So Kettle Steam is looking pretty beat up. Flame Shadow is asleep, but she gets another check. Elzin, make me another death save.
Nope.
It's 2 fails.
Said we're leveling up one way or another.
Oh for Sword Burst. But he doesn't have that. Kettle Steve is going to Eldritch Blast one of these guys and then move. Oh, he's prone. He has to spend half his movement getting up. Then he will Eldritch Blast. Uh, so he kills this one. And then moves. Lee, make me another death save. That's another success. Figure thing off. Pebble.
Seriously, wake up!
Make me another check. You see she begins to open her eyes and says, Where am I?
I don't know. But you gotta get up. We got things coming and the old ladies are all ugly and with something in their buttholes.
She begins to look around. She's obviously still prone. You can see she's still very confused. Looking around, it looks like she's in her big top tent, but she does see the hags in the distance. And she will go she will go essentially on initiative count 20. So the shades are going to all mindlessly move after Kettlestein. So, but they bunch themselves up. So only 3 get to attack him. Miss, hit, miss. Gleam Shadow tries to shake off the effects of the knockout gas and doesn't. Elzen, make me another death save.
Is it? Well, it could be it. Yep,
That's
that's it.
So Elzen, unbeknownst to Pebble, who can't determine that from this range, Elzen leaves this world.
Yeah.
Kettlestein will Eldritch. Oh, he doesn't want to Eldritch blast him. He will disengage and run. And hop down here. That's as far as he can go. Lee, make me another death save. Oh, wait, before you, well, not 20. So you're awake with 1 hit point. I won't take that away from you. But meanwhile, down with Pebble, Shebop, now fully awake, begins to rise up and get on her feet again. And she looks back at the hags, and you hear a thunderous roar come from her voice and say, How dare you attempt to take what is mine away from me? On the floor around everyone begins to shake as she says these words. And she and Pebble are lifted up into the air as she flies back towards the center of the ring. And she begins to cast a spell against this one, the red hag. Don't have that open. Closed it. And the hag screams in pain and seems to collapse in on herself, folding up over and over again, folding upon herself as she's crushed into a point and disappears. The other hags, seeing this, obviously stop chanting and begin to cast spells themselves, and both of them vanish. And with that, you see all of the shades begin to disappear as well, evaporating without the hags here to sustain them. Gleam Shadow remains. Let's see if she wakes up on her turn. No, she will not. So that is officially, we are out of rounds, though Elzen has passed away at this moment.
It looks like there's another token underneath Shebop.
There is. I have like the awake her,
Oh,
I guess. And she turns to Pebble and kneels down to get to your eye level. She's extremely tall. She's about 6 feet tall. Quite young, much younger than Mbop, although you can sort of see a family resemblance. Uh, Make me a perception check. So, other than the family resemblance to Mbop, she looks sort of familiar, like you've seen her somewhere else, but you're not sure where. And she reaches out and takes one of your hands and says, "Thank you. You may have saved my circus and possibly a lot more."
Oh, it was nothing. But, uh, do you know what Umbop is?
Who's Mbop?
My friend. She got lost in here. That's why we came. Trying to
I'm
find her.
afraid. I'm afraid I don't know her. I assume she's a member of my house, but it's not a name I'm familiar with. She's certainly not one of my close relatives, nor one of my children. What is Lee doing?
Uh, gets up staggered, looks over, sees Elson is not moving, and looks for the gleam shadow.
Gleam Shadow is still unconscious on the ground.
Walks over to wherever it is. Well, picks up his shield first.
Right. Gleam Shadow is up here, where she
Okay.
was hit by Kettlestein.
How does the gleam shadow look?
She looks pretty beaten up, but it just looks unconscious at this point.
Okay. Um, so Lee will take the shield and set it face down right on her head and take the Morning Star and rage and try to hit hit the Morning Star into the shield and try to absolutely splatter her brain.
Okay, so I don't know if that's a shield attack or a Morningstar attack, but you you definitely have advantage on it. It's not an automatic critical hit, but you have advantage.
Oh boy.
but she's incapacitated, isn't she?
Right. You're right. It would be an automatic critical hit. So you're so angry you missed the shield. Though she is still unconscious. You could attack her again. Still so angry. Roll
Well,
to
no, he wouldn't he have advantage? I mean, if he even
Yeah,
needs
you're
to
right.
attack with
You're
the incapacitated.
you're right. So you can attack again until you'll eventually hit her. I'm just curious if you're I guess it's unlikely you're going to crit fumble. I forgot about the advantage. So just roll me a D100 and your damage. See if it's appropriate. 51. That's kind of boring. You know what? I'll just give it to you since the fight's really over anyway. Uh, her body is incredibly light and insubstantial because it's made of shadow stuff itself. Uh, but you are able to nonetheless sever the head from the body and separate it. Her body, more or less, it doesn't evaporate the way the other shades did. It seems as if it begins to solidify and become heavier and more massive until eventually it's just a black form of an elven or half elven girl. It's hard to say. Uh, the head now several feet away from the body.
So it's like a solidified blackened head.
Yes, there's a body and a head now that you've killed it.
Right. But if the head was separated, I just walk over and pick the head up and put it in the sack.
So you take the head.
Yep.
Shebop, still talking to Pebble, says, if there's any wish I can grant you, just name it, and it will be done.
A wish?
Oh God.
If it's within my power.
Wow.
You
Gosh.
should take you should take some time to think about it.
Yeah, I think about it. I mean, if I can have whatever I want, I don't even know what I would want. I mean, there's so many things that I would want. So many awesome things that I would want.
So Lee, are you going to check on Elzen?
Yeah, I will walk over there.
So you discover that he is truly dead.
Okay.
As although I guess you might not know that 100% for sure. So make me a medicine check. Yeah, you're pretty sure he's dead.
He's
Lee is
dead,
over
Jim.
there giving CPR. You've
No, I
never
know he's
given
dead.
up
I
on
meant the.
anything in your whole life. Don't give up now.
Oh,
But
you're
no,
the
he
lucky
is.
one. This place sucks. Congratulations. Meanwhile, Pebble's already
You
decided, and there's like this slippy slide in the middle, and he's sliding around. I'm the king of the big top now. I got my wish, bitches.
so yeah, Lee is like, you lucky bastard.
Yep.
You lucky bastard. And Elzen, that's when you realize, or Pebble, that's when you realize something has happened to Elzen.
Wait. Oh no.
And he runs over.
Uh, Elsie? Elsie? Wait. You gotta wake up. Elsie, wake up.
He's like shaking him.
You shake him. You give him your barest of bear hugs, but Elzen remains limp in your arms.
Wait. Wait. You, you, you said I can't have anything I want. You said I can't have a wish.
I did say that, yes. If it's within my power to grant it.
Can you make Elsie wake up?
You sure that's what Elsie wants?
Well, Dustin, do you want to roll up a new character?
I mean, I will if I have to, but
Do you
oh,
do you
yeah,
want
I'd
to?
rather not.
All right.
Uh-oh. Zoom has stopped responding, apparently. I don't know what that means. Seems like it's still recording,
Yeah.
but guess we don't. We'll find out later. She
Yeah.
walks over to Elzen and says, I wish for life to return to you. And breath again fills your lungs as you wake up alive.
And
You
Pebble
distinctly
bear hugs
remember
him immediately.
the events of what just happened, although you were watching it from several feet above yourself and able to see your own body. And you could feel yourself slipping off to Dolar, where the souls of mortals go.
Somewhere just outside the tent, you hear Paelius, "That's bullshit."
Pavel then immediately runs to Shebop and gives her a great big hug. And then he says,
Wait, there was another person here. He was gonna get married, but he he got killed in the maze. Can you bring him back too?
I certainly don't have the power to do that today. But where is he?
Uh, somewhere outside.
Poor Reuben.
I will look into raising your other friend.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
She hugs you a bit tighter, seeing that you're breaking down. And she says, I need to reintegrate this reflection back into my circus and return this land to what it once was. We're in Thalanis, yes? She asked
Wait,
Pebble. She
what?
hasn't figured out Pebble yet.
I mean, yeah, we're this is land. We're here with on land.
Right,
I
but
guess it's the land.
but you cross through a portal to enter this land, right?
We were always on this land. We came to a mirror. There was a mirror, and it didn't
That
break when we walked away.
that almost certainly was a portal. You say it broke?
No, it didn't break. That was always weird. 'Cause I ran into another mirror earlier, and that one broke real bad. I got cut up. A lot of people
I
got cut up.
I think I understand. Bless your heart. She pats your head.
Oh, you got the bless your heart. Ah, yeah. Oh boy. Yeah.
So she comes over to the three of you and says, and Kettle Steam.
Hmm.
She looks at Kettle Steam and says, oh, I see you're back. I guess you had some part in rousing me, and you're to be thanked for that at least. All of you should return back to the circus proper in Eberron. I need to clean up here and reintegrate this back into our world, but then I'll join you there. I owe you more than just restoring the life of your friend. I think that was it. I think you all froze now. Dang it. Let's see. No, Zoom is definitely not responding now. Yeah, yes.